Greetings, this is Amy Wentley with Chai Knuckles Knitting, and this is episode 2018-5, Running a Lifeline. I'm currently teaching a class at the Hillsboro Yarn Shop on the Hitofude cardigan, which is a lace cardigan. And a lot of times when you work with lace, it's a nice idea to put a lifeline in your knitting so that if you ever have to pull back a number of rows, the lifeline can catch the stitches and then you can easily pick them up on another needle and reknit whatever you pulled out. So I'm going to show you in this video how to run a lifeline. You want to cut a piece of yarn longer than your piece of knitting because you want to have the edges overhang. You want it to be in a color that contrasts with the yarn that your project is in so that you can easily see it if you need to pick up stitches. And all you do is you put your yarn on a darning needle and you thread it through the stitches on your needle. If you are working with circular needles, it's a good idea to push all your stitches down to the cord part because it's really much easier to run a darning needle through a circular needle cord. It gives you a lot more room, but you can also do it right off the needles like this. If you have a marker in your knitting, you don't want to put the lifeline through the marker. You want to go around it. So here I'll go through the yarn, I'll go around the marker, not through it, around it. If you go through it, your lifeline is going to get stuck in the marker and the marker is not going to be able to move up to the subsequent rows that you knit. So oops, my yarn came off the needle. Okay, and you just keep going until you get to the end. I'll usually put a lifeline in every pattern repeat, like every 8 rows. If it's an 8-row repeat, 12 rows, 20 rows. Actually, you put it in as often as you're willing to. If you want to rip back, if you put it every 5 rows, you'll rip back 5 rows to the next one. If you wait every 10 rows, you may have to rip back 10 rows. So the more often you put one in, the safer you can feel, but it's up to you how often you want to do it. So what would happen is if I take my needle out now, all my stitches are on a lifeline. So if I had knit, 10 rows further here, I could just rip it all back and all my stitches get caught on this lifeline. So then what I can do is I can just pick up a needle again after I pull out all my bad stitches, and I can go ahead and put these right back on a needle again. It's a great thing to use. I highly recommend it, especially for lace knitting, and you can use it for any other kind of knitting you want. It's a way that you're able to catch your stitches at a certain point that you know is good if you need to rip back. So the next video is actually going to talk about how to do decreases, and in a later video you'll also see how to rip back your stitches, just a certain amount of stitches back to your lifeline to be able to rebuild them again. So look for future videos, and thank you for watching this one. Bye bye.